In this video, I wrote KSI in the world's smallest size. Okay, so attempt number 1, relatively small, but I think it could be drawn smaller, but more accurately as well. This is attempt number 2. I'd say maybe a tad bit smaller than before, but I do think it can be drawn even smaller. Obviously, it takes up very little of the page, as you can see. Alright, so for this attempt, the I on the right is a bit not right. It's not really drawn properly. The K is very small, but then it gets bigger as you go along the word or the name. Okay, so attempt number 4 here. This, as you can see, once again, the K is the smallest on the left, and as you go along, it just gets bigger. But I'm trying to make them all equally very small in size. Attempt number 5 here is probably the smallest yet, I would say. Just looking at it on the page, it is really small, even smaller than the previous attempt. Okay, so attempt number 6 here. Once again, this time around, the letters are all equally sized rather than the K being the smallest and the rest being a lot bigger. They're all relatively similar in size. The I on the end is a bit weird, but overall I'd say it's a solid, not bad. This attempt number 6. Attempt number 6 here, it's alright. Like I said, it is really small. It takes up a very small fraction of the page. And I said, once again, the letters are evenly sized, so pretty solid. For attempt number 7 here, you can see the I on the end is a bit too big in comparison to the K and the S. Once again, it's just getting bigger as you go along, which isn't ideal, but it's still alright attempt. Attempt number 8. Yeah, it's decent. It's a solid effort. Once again, the S and the I are distinctly big. The S and the I are distinctly bigger than the K. But yeah. Okay, attempt number 9 here is probably definitely the neatest attempt so far. Very accurate, neat, precise, and all the letters are very, very equally sized. So it is extremely neat. Not necessarily the smallest per se, but as I said, the most accurately written, I would say. Alright, attempt number 10 here. It's like I said, it's alright, but definitely could be drawn smaller. It's not that small, too big for my liking, I would say, compared to the previous attempts. But yeah, it can definitely be drawn smaller. For attempt number 11 here, I would say the I is definitely the smallest out of the 3 letters. I would say the I is definitely the smallest out of the 3 letters. The I is the smallest, then probably the K, then the S. The S in the middle is a bit too big, but yeah. Alright, so for attempt number 12 here, once again, the letters aren't really equally spaced out. The S is probably closer to the I than the K, which isn't ideal, but it is relatively small. For attempt number 13 here, this is definitely one of the smaller attempts. The smallest attempts I've done, I'd say. The I on the end is a bit funny, but like I said, it is a very small effort compared to some of the others, I'd say. For attempt number 14 here, it is small, but it's not drawn properly. The S is a bit funny, so is the K. It's not really that discernible. It's hard to discern some of the letters, like what they actually are, because of how small I tried to draw it. Alright, attempt number 15 here. It's the letters are very bold and clear, but I do feel like it could be drawn smaller. For attempt number 16, once again, it's a fairly neat effort, but it could be drawn a lot smaller. The I is a bit too far out compared to how close the other 2 letters are. Okay, here, this is attempt number 17, I believe, or 18. Like I said, it is fairly small, but and very neat. One of the neatest efforts I've done so far. See, all of the letters are equally spaced. Okay, this is attempt number 18, and yeah, pretty good. Definitely, once again, one of the neater efforts I've done thus far. You can clearly discern it says KSI, and yet it's drawn, relatively small. You can see how little of the page it takes up. Attempt number 19, and once again, is fairly neat. Clearly see what it says, but I do think it can be a tad smaller. But it is very neat. Like I said, clear, accurate, precise. But yeah.